What if the king of Hollywood blockbusters had been keeping a bombshell secret about one of his closest friends for over 40 years? Steven Spielberg just broke his silence on Rob Reiner after the tragic murder that shocked the world, revealing a hidden collaboration that shaped their iconic careers. You won't want to miss this. It's the untold story that's rewriting film history. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the real stories behind your favorite movies and stars. Today, we're talking about Steven Spielberg and Rob Reiner, two legends who seem like the best of friends on the surface. But after Rob's heartbreaking death, Steven finally opened up about the truth he hid for years. Steven Spielberg burst onto the scene in the 1970s with Jaws, that shark thriller that had everyone scared to go into water. Born in 1946 in Cincinnati, Ohio, he grew up loving movies and started making his own short films as a kid. By the time he was 28, Jaws became the first summer blockbuster, making over $470 million worldwide. Rob Reiner came from comedy royalty. His dad was Carl Reiner, the genius behind The Dick Van Dyke Show. Rob got famous playing meathead on All in the Family in the 1970s, arguing with Archie Bunker every episode. He married Penny Marshall in 1971, another star from Laverne and Shirley, but their marriage lasted only 10 years amid rumors of hidden tensions. Spielberg and Reiner first crossed paths in the late 1970s at Hollywood parties, where everyone was buzzing about new projects. Steven was riding high after Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 1977, that alien movie with the famous five-note tune. Rob was transitioning from acting to directing, and they bonded over their Jewish heritage and love for storytelling. In 1981, Spielberg released Raiders of the Lost Ark, introducing Indiana Jones to the world. Harrison Ford swung that whip, and the film grossed nearly $400 million. But what if I told you Rob had a hand in it? Steven hinted in his recent statement that Rob gave him key advice during a rough patch. After the flop of 1941 and 1979, Spielberg was doubting himself. That comedy about World War II panic didn't land with audiences. Rob, fresh off his TV success, pulled Steven aside at a gathering and said, "Don't let one miss define you. Think adventure, think heroes." That chat sparked ideas for Raiders, but they kept it quiet. Reiner's directorial debut came in 1984 with This Is Spinal Tap, the mockumentary about a fake rock band that became a cult classic. Lines like "These go to 11" are still quoted today. Spielberg loved it and even referenced it in his own work, showing their mutual respect. By the mid-1980s, Spielberg was tackling serious drama with The Color Purple in 1985, earning 11 Oscar nominations. Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey starred, and it dealt with heavy themes like racism and abuse. Rob was directing Stand By Me in 1986, based on Stephen King's story, with young actors like River Phoenix capturing that coming-of-age magic. Their paths crossed again when Rob directed When Harry Met Sally in 1989, that rom-com with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. The deli scene where she fakes it? Iconic. Spielberg was married to Amy Irving then, but they divorced that year amid personal struggles. Rob was there for him, offering support behind the scenes. Spielberg bounced back with Hook in 1991, a Peter Pan adventure with Robin Williams. It had mixed reviews, but kids loved it. Rob followed with A Few Good Men in 1992, starring Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson yelling, "You can't handle the truth." That line became legendary. As the 1990s rolled on, Spielberg made Jurassic Park in 1993, bringing dinosaurs to life with groundbreaking CGI. The T-Rex roar still gives chills. Rob directed The American President in 1995, a political romance with Michael Douglas that inspired The West Wing. Schindler's List came out the same year as Jurassic Park, winning Spielberg his first Best Director Oscar. The black-and-white Holocaust drama starred Liam Neeson and was deeply personal for Steven. Rob praised it publicly, but privately they discussed how to handle sensitive topics in film. In 1997, Rob made Ghosts of Mississippi about the Medgar Evers murder trial. It didn't hit big, but showed his commitment to social issues. Spielberg released The Lost World Jurassic Park that year, keeping the Dino frenzy alive. Saving Private Ryan in 1998 gave us that intense D-Day scene. Tom Hanks led the cast, and it won Spielberg another Oscar. Rob was vocal about war films, and they debated realism over drinks. Entering the 2000s, Spielberg did AI Artificial Intelligence in 2001, a sci-fi about a robot boy. Rob directed The Story of Us in 1999 with Bruce Willis, exploring marriage ups and downs, perhaps drawing from his own life. Minority Report in 2002 had Tom Cruise in a future crime prevention world. Rob's Alex and Emma in 2003 was a lighter rom-com, but didn't soar. Their friendship endured, with shared events and mutual admiration. Catch Me If You Can, Spielberg's 2002 hit with Leonardo DiCaprio as a con artist, showed his versatile style. Rob's Rumor has it in 2005 with Jennifer Aniston, played on The Graduate Rumors. War of the Worlds in 2005 had Tom Cruise fighting aliens. Spielberg revisited sci-fi roots. Rob produced and directed more, always staying active. Munich in 2005 tackled the 1972 Olympics massacre, drawing from Spielberg's Jewish identity. Rob, also Jewish, supported it amid controversy. The 2010s saw Spielberg's Lincoln in 2012, with Daniel Day-Lewis winning an Oscar. Rob directed The Magic of Belle Isle that year, a quieter film with Morgan Freeman. Bridge of Spies in 2015 had Tom Hanks in a Cold War tale. Rob's Being Charlie in 2015 was personal, based on his son Nick's addiction struggles, a haunting foreshadowing. The BFG in 2016 was Spielberg's Roald Dahl adaptation, whimsical and giant-filled. Rob's LBJ in 2016 starred Woody Harrelson as the president. Ready Player One in 2018 dove into virtual reality. Rob directed Shock and Awe in 2017 about Iraq War journalism. West Side Story in 2021 was Spielberg's musical remake, earning acclaim. Rob was busy with documentaries like God and Country in 2024 on Christian nationalism. Their friendship spanned decades, with Rob's outspoken politics contrasting Steven's quieter approach. Rob bashed Trump often, while Steven focused on philanthropy like the USC Shoah Foundation. But after Rob and Michelle's murder in December 2025, allegedly by son Nick, the world mourned. Celebrities like Martin Scorsese paid tribute, calling Rob free-spirited. Spielberg, at 79, released a statement, heartbroken by the tragic passing of Rob and Michelle. But there's more. He hinted at a hidden truth from their early days. That truth? In the late 1970s, when Spielberg was reeling from 1941's failure, Rob not only encouraged him but shared a script idea that became part of E.T. in 1982. Rob asked for no credit to avoid overshadowing his acting career. E.T. the Extraterrestrial grossed over $790 million, touching hearts with the story of a boy and his alien friend. Drew Barrymore starred as the little sister, and it won 4 Oscars. Rob's input was on the emotional core. The loneliness theme drew from his own childhood. They swore secrecy because Rob didn't want to ride Steven's coattails. This collaboration extended to other projects, like advice on Indiana Jones sequels. Temple of Doom in 1984 had darker tones, and Rob suggested lightening it with humor. Last Crusade in 1989 brought Sean Connery as Indy's dad. Rob loved the father-son dynamic, mirroring his own with Carl. Throughout the 1990s, they exchanged notes on films. Rob's Misery in 1990 with Kathy Bates was a thriller hit, and Steven admired the tension. Princess Bride in 1987, Rob's fairy tale classic with As You Wish, influenced Spielberg's fantasy elements and hook. Their shared love for classic cinema bonded them. Both cited Casablanca and The Godfather as favorites. In private, they discussed family. Rob's divorce from Penny in 1981 was tough. Steven's from Amy in 1989 echoed it. They supported each other through those times. Penny Marshall, who died in 2018, had her own secrets with Rob, rumors of jealousy over crushes during their marriage. Spielberg knew, but stayed silent. Rob remarried Michelle Singer in 1989, and they had 3 kids, including Nick. Steven met Kate Capshaw on Temple of Doom set and married her in 1991. Their families mingled at barbecues and holidays, but Rob's struggles with Nick's addiction were kept private. Being Charlie revealed some, but Spielberg knew more. As years passed, they collaborated on causes like gun control and democracy. Rob's anti-Trump tweets were fiery. Steven preferred actions like donations. In 2022, Spielberg's The Fabelmans was semi-autobiographical, showing his parents' divorce. Rob called it brave. Rob's Spinal Tap sequel was in works before his death, promising laughs. The murderer shocked Hollywood. Nick charged with first-degree murder. Trump posted insensitively about Trump derangement syndrome, drawing backlash from Jack White and others. Spielberg's full revelation came in an interview, saying he owed Rob for saving his career. Without that 1979 talk, no E.T., no Jurassic Park empire. All right, folks, let's dive right into the bombshell that Steven Spielberg dropped after Rob Reiner's tragic passing. He finally spilled the beans on their secret partnership that went way back, shaping some of the biggest movies we've ever loved. This isn't just gossip, it's the real deal that changes how we look at their Hollywood legacies. Steven started by saying Rob was like a silent co-pilot in his directing journey. Back in 1980, when E.T. was just a rough idea, Rob snuck in suggestions that made the alien feel like a Ray-All buddy to kids everywhere. He pushed for that emotional punch, drawing from his own life growing up in showbiz shadows. E.T. hit theaters in 1982 and became this massive heart-tugger about a boy named Elliot finding an extraterrestrial friend. Drew Barrymore played his spunky sister Gertie, and Henry Thomas nailed the lead role with Wide-Eyed Wonder. The film raked in over $790 million, but Rob stayed in the background, not wanting credit to mess with his shift from actor to director. Why hide it? Rob told Steven he wanted to earn his stripes on his own, without riding the wave of Spielberg's rising fame. They met late nights at Steven's place, hashing out scenes over cold pizza and coffee. That famous bike chase across the moon? Rob's tweak made it magical, adding that sense of pure freedom. Fast forward to 1984, and Rob's directing This Is Spinal Tap, hilarious fake doc about a rock band falling apart. Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer starred as the clueless musicians with amps that go to 11. Spielberg watched an early cut and laughed so hard he suggested Easter eggs for his own films. Meanwhile, Steven was deep into Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the darker sequel to Raiders. Harrison Ford returned as Indy, with Kate Capshaw as the singer Willie Scott. They met on set and later married. Rob whispered ideas to lighten the scary parts, like adding more slapstick humor with Short Round, played by Ke Quan. Temple of Doom grossed $333 million but got flack for its intense scenes, like the heart-ripping ritual. Rob's input helped balance it, though they kept their chats under wraps. He was busy with his own hits, like The Sure Thing in 1985, a road trip rom-com with John Cusack chasing love. By 1985, Spielberg tackled The Color Purple, adapting Alice Walker's novel about Celie, a black woman facing abuse in the early 1900s. Whoopi Goldberg debuted as Celie, Oprah Winfrey as Sophia. They both shone bright. Rob advised on handling tough themes sensitively, pulling from his progressive views. The film scored 11 Oscar nods but won none, sparking talks about Hollywood biases. Rob and Steven discussed this over phone calls, with Rob pushing for more diverse stories. His Stand By Me in 1986 echoed that, following four boys on a quest to find a dead body, starring Will Wheaton and River Phoenix. Stand By Me captured that raw boyhood bond, based on Stephen King's novella The Body. It made $52 million on a tiny budget and became a nostalgia staple. Spielberg saw parallels to his own youth films, and they swapped notes on casting kids who felt real. In 1987, Rob directed The Princess Bride, a fairy tale mashup with adventure, romance, and wit. Carrie Elwes as Wesley, Robin Wright as Buttercup, and lines like As You Wish became timeless. Spielberg borrowed that whimsical vibe for Hook in 1991, his Peter Pan tale with Robin Williams as a grown-up Peter. Hook featured Dustin Hoffman as the villainous Captain Hook and Julia Roberts as Tinker Bell. It earned $300 million despite mixed reviews, thanks to its star power and sets. Rob's hidden hand was in the family reunion scenes, emphasizing forgiveness, themes from his own life after divorcing Penny Marshall. Penny, famous for Laverne and Shirley, split from Rob in 1981 after 10 years. Rumors swirled about career jealousies, but they stayed friends for their daughter Tracy. Steven knew the scoop but never blabbed, respecting their pact of silence. Steven's marriage to Amy Irving ended in 1989, costing him a hefty settlement. Rob was his sounding board during those rough months, sharing laughs about Hollywood heartbreaks. They bonded over being dads. Steven has 7 kids. Rob had 4, including Nick, whose troubles loomed later. Nick Reiner's struggle with addiction, inspiring Rob's 2015 film Being Charlie. Charlie Sheen co-wrote it, drawing from his own battles. Spielberg watched it privately and praised Rob for the honesty, but they worried about Nick's path and hushed talks. As the 90s kicked off, Rob helmed Misery in 1990, adapting King's thriller about a writer held captive by a fan. Kathy Bates won an Oscar for her terrifying Annie Wilkes opposite James Caan. Spielberg admired the suspense build and used similar tension in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park roared into 1993 with Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum facing revived dinos. The CGI T-Rex and Velociraptors blew minds, grossing over $1 billion. Rob joked about a Spinal Tap-style dino band, but seriously helped with the wonder moments like the first Brachiosaurus reveal. That same year, Spielberg released Schindler's List, a gut-wrenching Holocaust drama with Liam Neeson as Oskar Schindler's saving Jews. Filmed in black and white, it won 7 Oscars, including Best Director for Steven. Rob, sharing Jewish roots, gave feedback on authenticity during edits. Their collaboration deepened with A Few Good Men in 1992. Rob's courtroom drama starring Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, and Jack Nicholson barking, "You Can't Handle the Truth," earned $243 million and 4 Oscar nods. Spielberg echoed that intensity in Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan in 1998 opened with a brutal D-Day landing, Tom Hanks leading a squad to find a soldier. It won 5 Oscars, revolutionizing war films. Rob debated realism with Steven, suggesting ways to honor veterans without glorifying violence. Entering the 2000s, Spielberg's AI artificial intelligence in 2001 explored a robot boy's quest for love, Haley Joel Osment starring. Rob's touch was in the emotional core, mirroring themes from his The Story of Us in 1999 with Bruce Willis and Michelle Pfeiffer navigating marriage woes. Minority Report in 2002 had Tom Cruise in a pre-crime future, based on Philip K. Dick's story. It grossed $358 million with slick action. Rob advised on ethical twists. Influenced by his political passions, he was always vocal about justice. Rob directed Alex and Emma in 2003, a meta rom-com with Kate Hudson and Luke Wilson. It flopped, but showed his range. Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can that year starred Leonardo DiCaprio as conman Frank Abagnale, a fun chase flick earning $352 million. In 2005, War of the Worlds reunited Spielberg with Cruise for an alien invasion thriller. Dakota Fanning played the scared daughter, adding family drama. Rob suggested grounding it in real fears, post-9/11 vibes heavy in the air. Munich, also 2005, followed Israeli agents after the 1972 Olympics attack. Eric Bana led, stirring controversy on Vengeance. Rob supported it, sharing thoughts on Middle East peace. They both advocated for dialogue over division. Rob's rumor has it in 2005 twisted The Graduate lore with Jennifer Aniston. Light fare amid heavier times. Spielberg's Lincoln in 2012 had Daniel Day-Lewis as the president ending slavery, winning 2 Oscars including Best Actor. For Lincoln, Rob's political savvy helped shape speeches. He loved history flicks. The film made $275 million, praised for its depth. Rob's The Magic of Belle Isle that year was quieter, Morgan Freeman as a grumpy writer finding inspiration. Bridge of Spies in 2015 starred Hanks in a Cold War spy swap, directed with taut precision. Rob's LBJ in 2016 had Woody Harrelson as the complex president. They compared notes on portraying leaders authentically. The BFG in 2016 adapted Roald Dahl's Giant Tale, Mark Rylance as the friendly behemoth. Whimsical and sweet, it underperformed but charmed kids. Rob's Being Charlie hit close to home, revealing family pains that foreshadow tragedy. Ready Player One in 2018 dove into virtual worlds. Ty Sheridan hunting Easter eggs in a dystopia. Grossed $583 million with pop culture nods. Rob's Shock and Awe in 2017 tackled Iraq War journalism, starring Harrelson again. West Side Story in 2021 remade the musical classic Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler's Shining. It won an Oscar for Ariana DeBose. Rob was working on a Spinal Tap sequel before his death, promising more rock mockery. Now, the revelation's impact, Hollywood bust. Tom Hanks tweeted, Rob's fingerprints were on so many masterpieces. Scorsese called it a testament to true friendship. Fans rewatched E.T., spotting emotional depths they now credit to Rob. The murder details gutted everyone. Rob and Michelle stabbed in their Brentwood home on December 14, 2025. Nick, 31, arrested that night, charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Reports say addiction and family rifts boiled over. Death certificates confirmed quick deaths from multiple wounds. Cremation followed. No memorial yet, but tributes poured in from Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, and more. Trump posted controversially, blaming Trump derangement syndrome, sparking backlash from Joe Rogan and others. Rogan said on his podcast, "The Rob Reiner thing is not funny. No justification in a compassionate society. Even some Trump supporters called it tasteless." Jack White blasted Trump online for insensitivity. Spielberg knew about Nick's issues. Rob confided years ago during Being Charlie's premiere. But Steven respected privacy, never interfering. Now he regrets not pushing more, but honors Rob by revealing their bond. This truth rewrites film history. Imagine E.T. without Rob's heart. Would it have touched generations? Or Jurassic Park sans his humor tweaks? Experts say it highlights unsung collaborations in Tinseltown. Documentaries are already in talks, like one on their friendship spanning 40-plus years. Spielberg's upcoming Disclosure Day, a 2026 sci-fi with Emily Blunt, might nod to unveiling secrets. Rob's legacy endures in laughs from Spinal Tap, tears from Stand By Me, romance in When Harry Met Sally. Meg Ryan's fake orgasm scene, pure Rob genius. Billy Crystal ad-libbied much, but Rob shaped the script. When Harry Met Sally in 1989 grossed $93 million, defining rom-coms, Spielberg referenced it in Sleepless in Seattle indirectly, but now we know direct influences. Their shared causes. Rob fought for democracy, gun control. Steven founded the Shoah Foundation for Holocaust education. They rallied against hate, quietly donating millions. In 2022, the Fableman's semi-autobiographed Steven's Life, earning 7 Oscar nods. Rob texted praise, calling it your bravest work. Steven now says Rob inspired the vulnerability. Post-revelation, box sets of their films surge in sales. Fans debate hidden Easter eggs, like similar music cues in Princess Bride and Hook. The tragedy reminds us life's fragile. Rob, at 78, left a void, but his spirit lives in stories. Spielberg ended his statement, "Rob, your hidden wisdom built empires. Rest easy, friend. What it's hardest is how they balance fame with real connection. In a cutthroat industry, they chose loyalty over limelight. That's the true Hollywood magic." Rob's anti-Trump stance was fierce. He called him a threat on X often. But Spielberg stayed neutral publicly, focusing on art. Their differences never broke the bond. Nick's trial looms in 2026 with pleas for mental health focus. Spielberg might testify on Rob's character, adding layers to the saga.